What's up, guys? I want to talk about an article real quick from Bloomberg from 2022. One of the viewers posted it, I saw in the comments. It's an article about the Chancery Court in Delaware, and it's quite interesting. I posted in my community section. You may want to go take a look and read it. It brings up a great thought here, and I know George had commented this morning. He's going to make a video on it, and CSI just commented, and it was something I was thinking too. They talk about how the judges can pick their cases. It's not a lottery. They can literally look through the cases that are brought and they can choose their cases. I'm just curious though, why did the judge, the same judge that had the original case, the last case, shall we say, with AMC in that situation, remember Linda Lau, ends up being the same judge again? Did they pick, and why did they pick the case? What's the purpose behind that? Regardless, this article is very interesting. I would take a look, take a read. I'm going to attach here and read off a couple parts of it. You can read the rest. I'll have in my community or in my comment section, as well as the description, the link to the Bloomberg article about the Chancery Court in Delaware. We already know our government's corrupt. We already know our world's corrupt out there. It's kind of crazy. Why is the laws are so relaxed? What do they say? Why is all these companies incorporated in Delaware? And why do all these cases go through the Delaware? And why are the cases hidden? Why can't they be publicized? You ever think about that? All right, let's take a look at this article. The Judicial Watchdog releases fact sheets on Chancery Court, makes activists and experts available for comment. This was July 13th of 2022. And we'll kind of scroll through here, guys, and I'll just read off a few things. But I highly recommend that you take the time to read the article for yourself so you can kind of decide what are they trying to express. But point out some key stuff here that it has to say. Let's see. Shining light on the First State's Court of Chancery has announced it is releasing a fact sheet about the court and making the group's presidents, experts, and advocates available to the press for comment. Reverend Al Sharpton, while many Americans may not have heard of the Chancery Court in Delaware, it is there that more than half of the nation's Fortune 500 companies are presided over by an opaque, archaic judicial institution. It is there that a court with 7 justices has not one person of color on the bench and has only had 1 black justice in the majority of the 30-year history. It is there that those justices operate in secret with no camera or microphones in the courtroom, few if any public financial disclosures by justices, and with barely a modicum of transparency. Court system ripe for corruption and backroom deals. Unlike most other courts across our country and the federal government, the Chancery Court does not use randomized spend for case assignments. Currently, Chancery Court chancellors are free to select their cases based on their own self-interest. This leads to corrupt practices, much like former Chancery Bouchard's decision to appoint former employee Skaden Arps as custodian for a high-profile case that charged millions in unfair fees. To make the matters worse, there are no cameras in the courtrooms. In the case, Chancellor, I don't want to read off the rest of this story, guys, but just think about that. They get to pick and choose who they want. But if you go through the rest of that article, you'll see it's using kind of a case that was in the Chancery there, and it kind of talks about what happened with that. And I think it also refers to another case. But like I said, you guys read it for yourself, see what you think, drop your comments. What do you think about this? I mean, is it possible that all this, I've said it before, I think the case was a sham. I think it was a complete setup to give Adam and the board immunity. But the real question lies, how deep does this run? If you guys remember, I've done interviews in the past with a guy named Laser Haas. If you go back and you'll see those interviews that I did, I talked with him. He was during the eToys finagle or whatever it was. If you remember that whole story dealing with the Chancery in Delaware, the bankruptcy, the whole 9 yards, he was talking about the corruption going on. So I wouldn't be surprised of all the corruption that does exist out there.